needed to do, a ton of side quests that I needed to do. Didn't want to kind of take all the time to struggle through all that, see all the kind of false attempts. So the main goal for all of these side quests, though, was to obtain the recipe, the Orichalcum Plus. So pretty much every single side quest in this game will, or a lot of the side quests in this game will push you towards getting like the ultimate reward is getting an Orichalcum Plus, which you need 7 of them to get the ultimate Keyblade, the ultimate weapon. And so as you can see here, I've got 6 of the 7. The 7th one is in the final world, so no matter what, you have to get to the end of the game in order to get the ultimate Keyblade. So I'm going to quickly go through some of the side quests that I've done, just through the Gummy Phone, and so you can see kind of some of the things it takes. So the first one, probably the most important one, is, and I just got to show you this, collecting lucky emblems. So this one's actually interesting. It depends, I guess it depends on your difficulty. So I'm on proud mode. I think it's different for easy mode, and for critical is how many lucky emblems you have to get. But I decided to get them all because you, so it depends on that for your secret ending. So for your secret ending, I think you only need like 30 on critical mode, and maybe 50 on proud, and maybe most of them on the easiest difficulty, so you actually have to do more on the easier difficulties, if I'm not mistaken. Might have to double check that. But the other thing is you get different rewards for all of the different, for getting kind of the different percentages. And so one of the things I didn't want to kind of bore everyone, but I went back and got all these lucky emblems, used a guide to do it. And so you get a bunch of great rewards for it. And so one of the best rewards actually is, and I don't have it on anyone right now, this thing called the Mickey class. So the way Mickey class was great because it has this thing called endless magic, and actually I can show you how it works really quick. So with endless magic, you can actually go and so say you have something around here. This is a great place to show it. But say you have a spell like fire, or see if I can do it with thunder. So the way that endless magic works is each cast is successively cheaper. So here, the first cast is 14, but with endless magic, it'll start to be that the spells become so cheap. So like, look how slow my magic is now going down. It's actually recovering faster than it's going down. So it really is, you can endlessly cast magic. And then, ideally, see now I'm casting Sundaga. So, this way you can basically make it so that all of your spells +1, and you can continuously spam magic until everyone's dead. So, it's great for if you want to do more of a magic build. Because, yeah, you can make everything pretty cheap. Because the periods where you run out, but it's so that you get actually for getting all of the lucky emblems. So it's definitely very much kind of an end game. You need to have everything open, but it can be really powerful if you use it right. So actually I might keep that on just because it's such a fun thing to play around with. And I changed Thunder, just changed it to, normally I have it for 3 elements, but I think because I like using Thunder for clearing so much, and it's because it's so cheap, it works really well. So that was one of the quests. The other one that you need to do is, or you probably should do, is collecting all of these. So you don't actually need to do this. So one of the chests in Caribbean, which is one of the last worlds, will give you an Orichalcum Plus. So I forget where it is. Here it is. So yeah, you'll get an Orichalcum Plus from a chest itself in the Caribbean. And you receive something else for receiving all the treasures. Definitely an achievement. But it's just kind of a good thing to do if you can, if you've got it. There's plenty of guides online. If you have the treasure guide, even better. Some of these were more difficult. I think the Caribbean, huge. There's a bunch of islands. There's a bunch of stuff underwater, so it takes a lot of time. But there's definitely these places, like there's I think one place that it just has like 6 or 8 chests or something like that on one of the islands. So, and then the other one that was somewhat difficult was San Francisco. Just there's all the tall buildings and stuff. So it took some time. The first time I went through, I didn't get any of those. So it took some time to go back and collect all those. With that, also you get all the Classic Kingdom games. There's actually 2 Classic Kingdom games I missed in this particular world here in Twilight Town the first time through that I needed to. I kind of actually just happened upon. So if you look at, there's a billboard. I don't think it's this one. There's a billboard around here that you have to look at to. I think it's this one. You have to talk to, walk up to the billboard, and you'll actually get a couple of classic games from that. So I forgot that I missed that the first time through. I was able to just get that by happenstance. So that worked out. And then the last one that, so these don't necessarily. So the other ones you need to do are the Frozen Slider, which is a mini game in it's Arendelle, the Frozen world, and you go up, you actually talk to Princess Elsa. You do this kind of, you're sliding down on the shield, and you have to collect all of these 10 treasures. So this one's actually really, really hard without a guide because the treasures are just kind of scattered around this snowboarding mini game, and it's just kind of, you can get lucky and maybe find all 10 of them, but they're in a lot of them are in kind of off locations. Just kind of, and everything kind of looks the same. So the video, they even recommended don't use text guide, just watch the video, see exactly where they are, follow the video really closely, and then just kind of over time you'll just collect, and you can collect 1 treasure at a time. So it took me maybe half an hour to get all these treasures, but the other thing too, and I actually didn't get the full high score. You get an achievement for getting a 600,000 high score. I don't think there's anything. Again, the treasures are what give you the orichalcum, so you don't need that high score. But if you want the achievement, and I might go back and get that. It's kind of a fun mini game actually. So definitely recommend seeking it out. Get that orichalcum if you can. It's a great mini game. The big one. And this one is actually a lot more difficult, but it's also kind of a lot more fun, and I think it's kind of diverse minigames are the flans. And so I don't think it's literally each world, but in a lot of the worlds you'll see these big giant flans after you've beaten the world. So they won't show up until you've actually completed the world entirely, finish the story, and then you go back and you'll see these flan guys pop up. And so each world has them. They're in kind of, not all of them are in game locations. They're usually kind of in some of the hub locations. So like in Arendelle, it's if you go to where the castle is, you jump off the cliff. There's a little place you can go off the cliff to the cliff side, right at the castle save point, the ice castle save point. So you go off that. There's a flan there, and in the Tangled world, it's you go to the first save point, you turn around, it's right there. But each of these mini games is actually pretty different. So, for instance, the Arendelle one, it's one where you have to kill a bunch of enemies in a short time limit. So the best way to do it, based on the guides, was to actually use the Simba summon, which I'd never used before. So it was really cool to kind of, okay, this is experimenting. This is the best method to do this. This is kind of again, there's so many little features in this game and things in this game that you may or may not explore. And so these kind of are, each of these flan games is a unique interaction. So one uses the photos, the one in San Francisco, which is bouncing on top of their heads, which is really cool because of course it's a skyscraper level. So each of them has a different interaction, and so I'd really encourage you to at least try these. And if you can see my scores, you pretty much have to get at least 20,000 to unlock so you'll if you get over 10,000 you'll get some rewards, but you need 20,000 to unlock the full rewards, and so each of them will actually, and again, I'd recommend doing this even if you're not worried about the ultimate weapon yet, because you'll actually unlock some things like form change extenders, extraction extenders. You actually unlock abilities when you get over 20,000 in any of these. And so if you do all 7, you'll unlock 7 new abilities, and you'll get the Auric outcome. So that's, I think, probably one of the best mini games just for end game content if you want to buff up Sora as much as possible. They're cool mini games, they're fun mini games. The other things they give is ingredients, which I haven't really played with the food stuff as much. I think it's a cool mini game, but it's ultimately something that it doesn't get you to an Auric outcome. It does get you a Keyblade, but I think the ultimate weapon is the best Keyblade, kind of bar none. So at some point I'll maybe go back and do the cuisine, get the ratings, get the other Keyblades. I think there's also one for the classic games. So that's the two things two mini games I didn't do were the classic games and the cooking. And yeah, again, they both lead to Keyblades, but they don't lead to the ultimate Keyblade. So it's kind of up to as you're going through the. I definitely recommend the flans and the snowboarding, just because they're really fun mini games and they lead to the ultimate Keyblade. So with that, I am going to now start off on my journey to Final World. And so usually Final World is good, so I'll probably load in, see the opening cutscenes, and then in the next episode I'll actually kind of start playing. So once I get to the first save point, I'll probably take a break, and then we can kind of keep going in the Final World. So here, though, the other one, so this is, I forgot the last mini game, and this one is probably going to be the one that people aren't necessarily as fond of, is, of course, the Gummy Ship. So the Gummy Ship game is required for the ultimate Keyblade. You do have to beat the final boss in this stage. So one of the things that I'd really recommend for Gummy Ships, make sure, so first of all, you can buy up to the High Wind 4 and the Falcon 4. I think these are good, definitely. But I think one of the things that I really noticed, and I kind of decided, so this has been my Gummy Ship for most of the game. I kind of been upgrading it as we go. You notice the rolling is actually pretty low, because it's like that's just your turning ability, and I think unless you're just navigating in the Gummy world, you don't really need turning ability. I actually made one specifically for rolling, just for navigation, just for kicks, right here. But this is kind of my main one. It's been my main one. It's got a lot of offense. It does have some decent speed, got HP, got a little bit of power, but this one has been really useful for just kind of blanket everything in the world. So it's got good balanced stats for low mobility and no rolling. But because I was fighting a super boss, I decided to kind of, okay, I really don't need rolling and I don't need speed. So this one, I sacrificed a little bit of speed, so I took off. You see the fan in the background in this one, but in this one I took off the fan, put on a scanner, took off that chainsaw, put on some sharper weapons, and just made it a little bit more bulky. But the other thing too is I think teeny ships. So I had been building my own, which they're kind of now I've got more costs. So you increase your costs through Keyblade. But the other thing too is if you look at some of these special ones, they actually exceed costs. Specifically the Bitsy bike, I noticed it's got so much. So I don't have rolling, but these guys have over 100 rolling. They got a good chunk of power. So it's like you see mine had actually negative power. These ones have positive power, positive offense, great health. So just kind of better than mine in almost every stat. So I kind of decided, okay, I'm just going to get 2 of these because, yeah, it's like a great offense, great power. So they boost, because each of the teeny ships boost your thing, and because they exceed costs by so much. But because they're teeny ships, you're able to use them. So I think I'd highly recommend, if you can unlock the Bitsy Bike or something like that. And I just got 2 of those, and that just boosted my offense, boosted my power. Even my rolling is great because of them. So I think that really helped in the final battle, just to have those teeny ships. I think you can also, of course, unlock main ships that are like that. So here you'll see one that its HP it's above my cost. Its HP is really high. The problem is its offense isn't that great. So this one I think would actually probably be pretty good if you can unlock something like this. Is again, it's above the cost, but because it's a special, you're able to use it. So if you can unlock some of these and if you just want to unlock some of these and use some of these, they can be pretty cool. That's another one crazy stats. So I think a lot of these, of course, are more gimmicky. So like this one is really powerful, really low speed, but it could be really cool. It's got immense HP, got low speed. But yeah, so I haven't really played around with ships as much as the teeny ships. Those ships as much as the teeny ships, but I think they could be useful in some of these fights. But this one worked fine. I was able to beat the final boss. And you have a little bit. At least I had kind of my core ship was my own, and I think it's. A lot of people don't really like the gummy mini game, so yeah, if you want to go for pre-built ships, that's fine. It'll probably get you through the game. But if you do enjoy building your own ships, I think they'll be a lot more fun. That was for me. So. Yeah. Around this guy. Okay. Time for the Keyblade graveyard. This is gonna be a lot of cutscenes. We're back. With everyone. Time for another Keyblade war.
It's time. The Keyblade graveyard is up ahead.
Someone's coming.
He's waiting for us.
Legend has it that darkness once covered the world. We know so little about the Keyblade War, only that it was just the beginning. If ruin brings about creation, what then would another Keyblade War bring? When the darkness falls, will we be found worthy of the precious light the legend speaks of?
Or will all of creation be instead returned to the shadows? Today we will recreate the legend and see.
But first, your light shines far too brightly. It must be extinguished in order for the truth to be seen.
Only when your hopes have been broken by battle upon battle can the key be claimed to Kingdom Hearts.
And break you is what we shall do. It has been etched.
Look at how many there are! Oh!
I think I got endless magic.
Okay, gang, get ready.
Oh, I am ready. This should be fun. Look at all those people there.
Back off! Back off! Back off! Right! Back off! Back off! Back off! Yeah! Hop on! Faster! Faster! Faster!
Don't really got invincibility for it, so full invincibility.
Back off! 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 Take this! Nice! Yeah! 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 Back off! Back off! Try this! I know what to back off! Back off! Back off! Back off! Back off! Yeah! Thunder! Take this! Try this! Yeah! Yeah! Take this! Yeah! Look at them all! They just keep coming! Get him! Get him! Get him! Get him!
So this is kind of pretty much only in certain
Gotcha!
events. Unlimited.
Get him! Gotcha!
I don't know why they sent all these carlos from the weird stuff.
Gotcha! 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 Get him! Get him! You're gonna like this!
Everybody else has gone on ahead.
need treasure map. Yeah, so last time we were here was in Birth by Sleep with Terra and Aqua and Vector. So pretty cool. Alright. After this first fight. Save. So again, my main goal here is actually to search for Orichalcum. So there's going to be a lot of cutscenes, a lot of stuff that I take. Pause. In a second, and come back and search the Badlands in a little bit.